Hello everyone and welcome back to the World War II Solitaire board game channel. And after many years of waiting, it is finally time to play the second edition of Company of Heroes with its new solo expansion, which is also playable in co-op. So to keep this simple, we're just going to play in solo. We are going to play as the Wehrmacht and we are going to play against a Russian solo bot. So this is the Moro River map, and I think this is a good map to start with if you play your first game against the AI. And it is also recommended that if you play one person versus one AI, that you use a two-panel map. It is incredibly big though, and it is definitely a challenge to find a big enough table for all of the stuff, but it is awesome. It is a really cool game that you get in return. So on the board here, you see that I prepared with some miniatures. We have the footbridges, we have some destroyed houses, a factory and houses, flagpoles. These are all part of the terrain pack expansions, and they're not necessary for play. So if you don't have them, don't worry, the game works the same without them. I'm not using any of the optional rules which come with them. For example, with one of the terrain packs, you have that rule where map cover can get destroyed, but we're not going to play with any of those optional rules. We are just going to keep this simple so that you can learn how to play Company of Heroes the second edition with the solo bot as quickly as possible. And I'm just going to note also that I'm not going to be building advanced field defenses, which are tank traps and barbed wire. You can do that in solo games if you want to, but it's recommended that you don't, just because it adds so much complexity and the AI will just destroy them anyway. And it kind of also makes the AI do some illogical decisions. So if you play against really hard AI commanders, yes, okay, then you might need all the help that you can get. But we're going to play against an easy one now, since this is our first game. And because I want to keep it simple, but I just wanted to tell you that. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the setup. We have set up the map. We have all of these points here. You're going to find this in the mission booklet, where you should put, for example, this is a fuel and a munition point. Here we have a manpower point. All of these different points you'll find in the mission booklet. And then we have these spawn tokens here, which are for the AI. And the points for those are going to be found in the solo rulebook. So the AI have 5 spawn points, and it's also going to use those from 1 down in priority. So the first spawn point is going to be here, and the last one is going to be here. Let's go ahead and look at our setup for our income tables, cards, and such. All right, so first we have our resource card for the AI, and that's really simple because the AI does not collect resources. It only collects victory points. So it starts with a stockpile of 0 victory points and income of 0. You have your 5 different type of units, which are some kind of infantry, usually vehicles, and this is going to be likely artillery or something else like that. And you shuffle these and put them in individual piles. You have your commander card, which needs a white cube or any other cube actually to indicate which turn you're on and what the AI is going to do. You have your helper cards for the orders that the AI does, and also your target selection priority card. These are very handy to have close at hand, but once you have played a few games of this, you're not really going to need them very much, because you're going to be able to pretty quickly memorize how the different orders work. And then you have your commander action cards or AI action cards, and there's two different ones. We have one for phase 1 and one for phase 2. So divide those up and shuffle them. And since we're still in phase 1, I'm going to put the phase 1 over here, and I'm going to set the phase 2 aside, which are going to be used later. So the commander for today, the AI commander, is the Feeble commander for solo. Note that they have two sides, one for co-op, one for solo. Obviously, if you play solo, you're going to want to start with solo facing up. So here we can also see, because we need to put CP out, here we can see how many CP. AI has total 12, having 3 CP available to use each turn. Some AIs have 16, some even have 20. So you need to look at that card to know how many CP you need to set up. We see a bunch of different symbols here, and we're going to get into that later, but basically this is what's going to be spawning what the AI is going to buy each supply phase. This one has a special ability, Endurance Training. That is that the 4 starting green tokens that we see here in the first step gain a speed die. Place 1 on each of them at the start of the game. And that's pretty much it. We're going to look at the other symbols, what they mean once we get there. I don't want to go too far ahead to just confuse you. So just know that in the setup now, we are going to take, these are shuffled. We can shuffle them a little bit more to prove that. And kind of hard to shuffle. Now you take the top 4. And don't forget to put a speed die on them. And we put them on the spawn points. So we see the enemy spawn points over there. And the first one goes on 1. Second one goes on number 2. Third one goes on number 3. And the fourth one goes on number 4. And don't forget to put those speed dice on the units. And those speed dice will be used even before these AIs are revealed. And we can see what type of unit it is. Let's go ahead and look at the setup for my resource board. So I have chosen the Wehrmacht. So I have the first Wehrmacht headquarters right here. My first building. My other 2 buildings, of course, are flipped. I have to pay this cost to purchase them later in the game. My incomes are all set to 0, and my stockpiles for manpower, 2 munition, and 3 fuel are set according to the scenario. And this information you will find both in the solo rulebook and in the mission booklet. So what remains now is to choose a commander. And in this, we have to shuffle the commander deck. And I own every single expansion. I actually own 2 to 3, even 4 out of some expansion packs. So I have every commander there is. I shuffle them and I take the 3 top ones. And now I get to choose one. So we got 2 with tigers. So one thing to note here is that we actually don't have to choose our commander now. There is no time limit as to when you have to choose one. You can wait until you know what the enemy brings up on the battlefield, and then you can make a decision. Okay, I should go for the Infantry Storm Doctrine. That's probably going to be really helpful here. But for convenience, I'm just going to go ahead and choose right away. And when you fight against the AI, it is going to be vital that you are able to spot. So this one has Recon Enforced, the Sperhead Doctrine. Light vehicles gain +2 sight and spot camo for 2 munitions. So that's a very powerful thing to upgrade. So I think I'm getting that one. This one is also pretty good because it gives you a sniper, but I'll go with this one. So I'll take that commander card and put it here on my resource board. And then finally, but not least, we have the new expansion for Lost Brigades. And it works exactly the same. You shuffle these cards and then you draw the top 3 and you get to choose one. And the same thing here, you don't have to choose right away. You can wait before you choose, or you can choose right away. I choose right away just to try for convenience here. And I think I'm gonna go with the elephant. Is pretty cool, isn't it? So you just put that anywhere where you have space on your board. I'll place it here, and then to unlock this one, I don't even have to build any buildings or buy any buildings. I just have to pay 3 experience points and then I can purchase this for 3 manpower and 5 munitions. So Lost Brigades are very powerful, and they are going to make AI battles a little bit easier, of course, but the AI is really good at higher levels, so there's nothing wrong with using Lost Brigades, and it makes, in my opinion, it makes it a lot more fun. Okay, so now we're all set up, and now we're ready to play, so let's go ahead and get started. One thing that we should actually do before we do get started is we should place our starting units out. And I am going to go ahead, you can choose 2 green units from your headquarters, or if you have a Lost Brigade, which has a green unit, and that costs 0 to lock up, you can also use that. So I am going to go ahead and get 2 infantry squads of grenadiers, and then I am going to get 1 machine gun. And there we have them. We have 2 infantry squads, 1 on each side here, and then we have 1 machine gun. The individual soldiers represent 1 health, so the machine gun has 3 health, and the Panzer grenadiers, or sorry, just regular grenadiers, have 4 health. And now we are ready for the first turn of the game. Okay, now as we're heading into the first turn of the game, it's a good opportunity to just quickly talk about some things that differ from the solo expansion from the main game. First of all, in the solo game, you always start. There's only one exception, and that is 1 specific commander that has basically an extra turn, so it gets to start. But any other commander, the player always starts. Another thing is that the new operation deck that we have in the 2nd edition of Company of Heroes is skipped. So you don't even have to read that page of the rules. If you just play solo, just ignore those rules. Okay, so we are going to start, and we're going to capture, of course, some of those victory points. So I'll start with it. This infantry, I go out here on the side. Here actually, 1 up and then up here. Be mindful of these red lines because they are impassable lines even by infantry, so you can't cross them. So that's my first turn, and now we go to the enemy. And I just want to say quickly before we move on, once we get to further rules like flipping them, victory points, all of that, we're going to get into it once we get to it, because otherwise I'm just going to be talking forever about rules, which is just hard to memorize. So let's just play this game together. We draw the first card of the AI action deck phase 1. So here we have a few icons. This first one, you go from top to bottom, and you will resolve these orders for 1 unit each until you either run out of units or run out of CP. And the Feeble Commander will spend 3 CP every turn. So first one, we have a purple defense, but we don't have any purple units, we skip it. The next one is a blue barrage, we have no blue units, we skip it. And guess what, the same thing goes for the next one, which is a yellow. But then we get to a green one. And this is now that these cards come really in handy. We can identify that order, and that is a green control point. So the first part of the card lets us decide which unit to choose for this action. And the second part of the card tells us what to do with that unit. So the green unit selection priority is the closest to a victory control point without an ally on it. And that is without question going to be this guy. If the enemy, and now to the order, if the enemy has a unit on any victory control point within range, within CP range, that's a range that he can reach with the amount of CP that he or the AI has. So currently he has 3 CP plus that movement die, so he has a range of 4 when it comes to CP range. We can skip that though, because there's no enemy to him. There's none of my units within 4 hexes. So then it says, if none, move toward or assault to capture the nearest control point. And this is going to be 3 hexes away, and this is going to be 3 hexes away. So we now have two different control points that this AI could go to. And then we have movement priorities. A victory control point, so we have it right there. He's going to go to the victory control point. So he always spends his movement die first, and then 1 CP here, second CP for this one, and then third CP to finally end up here. And that is the end of the bot's first turn, so it's now my turn. And I'm simply going to keep moving to get these control points. And unfortunately, I am not in any within any distance to get a control point. So then we have the enemy's turn yet again, and we simply go ahead and draw the next card. And here we see a blue barrage, yellow, I think that's the defense. I can't remember the name of that one, but we don't have those colors. We go to the last one, which is, I believe it's called a green assault. So we go to our helper cards again. Green assault. Green selection priorities, unrevealed ones. Okay, all of them are unrevealed. Closest to victory control point without an ally on it. And let's see here, that's going to be, you skip, by the way, skip green units on a building victory control point or any neutral or enemy control point. And this is a neutral one, so he skipped. He's a happy AI unit. So the closest is going to be here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So both of these are 5 hexes away from that control point. And I think even this one might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now he's a little bit longer, but these two are tied. So then we have again priorities here. Next one, if you have a tie, is reading order. Reading order is simply left to right, top to bottom. So you go from this hex and go, and there we have him. So now we know that he's the one that's going to be activated. Now we need to see what he's going to do. Assault onto an enemy within CP range, but there's no enemy within CP range. If none, move to max range towards the nearest enemy spotting if needed. So the nearest enemy to him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be this one. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's both of them, but by reading order, it's going to become this one. So he's going to move, let's see here, move to max range towards the nearest enemy. So he spends a speed die. He goes 1. And he goes 2. And 3. And finally 4. And that is it for there. They don't have, that's the last order of the order card. And I think you have already guessed what I'm going to do with my last order. I'm going to move up to this control point. And then we have the allies, sorry, the bot again. So he has another danger close card here. And again, there's no blue, purple, or yellow. So we go straight to the green one. And we have another green assault card. And you might even remember now what this is going to do. Basically, it's going to be this one. We already know that. And it's going to assault the closest, move towards the closest of my units. So that is going to be, without a doubt, this one. So he's going to spend his speed die to go 1 step. And then 2, 3, 4. So he goes down here. And then it is my turn again, and I don't have any units to spend my final 3 CP on, so I'm going to have to forfeit those CP, and we're going to have to go to the next ally order. And he has another unit, so he draws a card, and this time we see no yellow, no purple, no blue, but we have a green castle icon, and that's the defensive maneuvers. Oh, that's the wrong deck. That is the green defensive. So green unit selection priorities, we don't really have to look at that because all of our other guys have activated all of their CP possible, so it can only be that remaining 1. So we're going to activate that unit, and for the order, move to capture an unoccupied control point within CP range. So he's going to go ahead and occupy this one, and he's going to spend his speed die, and he's going to spend 1 CP doing so. And that, my friends, is the end of the maneuver phase. All of them have maneuvered. So I just like to, before we get into, we're not going to do any damage or something because there's no one here right now that that can actually spot. I should put this on my MG to see show that he's not set up. Since there's no one that can, actually this MG can see this one. So we're gonna get to that. But let's go ahead and just clean up a little bit on the board, all the CP points. And I'm going to tell you all about spotting. So enemies are really dangerous because the way they work is that they have they're hidden, and of course it's dangerous since you don't know what kind of enemy they are. But once they flip to reveal themselves, they can do damage to you if they are the one who spot you, or yeah, basically if they are the one that spot you. So this one now, my machine gun, all of your units have a range of, a sight of 2. But the machine gun has that upgrade from it's a standard upgrade that it comes with. And that upgrades give him +1 in sight. So he has a sight of 3. So now this guy is 3 hexes away. So that means the machine gun spots him. So I now get to flip this one, and you see this guy has a flip icon with a 2 in it, and that means if he came within 2 of me, he would reveal himself. And now I flip it. This specific one, shock troops, it doesn't have any kind of value here to do any damage when it's flipped, but many of them do have that. And if they reveal themselves instead of you scouting them or, seeing them, revealing them, they are going to make that effect on you. It could be, for example, it could be 2 anti-infantry damage. And that's going to be right in the maneuver phase. It's going to happen to you right when it happens and possibly do very bad damage. So the only way that you can work around that is by spotting them first, by, like I did, I invested in a commander which has the spotting where recon vehicles get a +2 in sight. So that's very important. That's one of the major rule differences, or I would say the biggest rule difference between solo and multiplayer. So, but you're going to see how that works. We're probably going to get to a situation here where they actually going to spot me, since they have movement dice and can move quite far. So that's gonna give me some trouble up ahead. Okay, so we now end the movement phase. So now we would normally do damage to each other, but again, no units are within range of each other to do damage. So now we get to the point where we get 1 free experience point, and the AI does not collect resources, only victory points. So we go ahead to go to the supply phase, and we're going to start capturing some flags, and we'll start with the AI. And the AI captures 2 flags. This flag with VP, giving the AI 1 now in VP income. And then it captured this flag, which is 1 manpower and 1 munition. But again, the AI does not collect resources. But they go now from 1 0 VP to 1 VP. And we're going to play a short game, which is 18 VP, 1 versus 1. And this is from the rulebook, but feel free to set any kind of victory condition that you like, which could be 50 VP or 10 VP, whatever you like. Okay, and now it's my time to capture, and I capture 3 flags. So I capture this point down here, which gives me 1 fuel and 1, I'm going to put this here so you can see it. It gives me 1 fuel and 1 manpower income. This one, which gives me 1 munitions and 1 fuel income. Oh. There we go. And on to the next and last, which gives me 1 manpower income and 1 munition income. So I have 2, 2, 2, but 0 victory points. So I gain 2 manpower, 2 munition, and 2 fuel. And now we are ready to go to the purchasing phase, where we get to buy stuff. But before we do that, we are going to buy what the AI will get next. So now this little cube is on the first circle. It's just going to go to the next circle, which is a yellow token with a 1 on it. And you simply take the top yellow token and put it on the number 1 available spawn token. If for some reason that one would have been occupied, it would have went on number 2 instead. And that is it for the AI. That's what the AI will buy for this turn. Now it's time to look at what I want to buy. Alright, so we have come to the favorite part of mine in this game, and that is the shopping spree. So we are going to purchase this Panzergrenadier Company building for 1 manpower and 2 fuel. So we lose 1 manpower and 2 fuel. And then I am going to go ahead and buy a mortar team. The mortar teams are really great because you can fire on such long distances, and it has a health of 3. So you simply add 3 little soldiers and then a little mortar to it. And we should also add a die to it to show that he is currently not set up. And then we are going to purchase our first vehicle. I am going to buy a Kubelwagen, and that is going to cost me 2 manpower. Let's reduce by 3 manpower first because we bought the mortar. And then the Kubelwagen is going to be 2 manpower and 1 fuel. So the Kubelwagen is cool because I can use that to reinforce my units. He can capture. He is a light vehicle, and all light vehicles get 1 speed die. So he's also going to be able to quickly go to neutralize points and help me out in different ways. With the Kubelwagen, to be able to reinforce, I have to buy that for 1 experience point. It's going to be 2 munitions to get that extra speed die. I'm contemplating now a little bit what I should do. I feel like on my left flank, I'm going to have one guy that's going to be practically alone. So I'm contemplating whether I should upgrade him, and I think I will. So I am going to spend 3 of my munitions, 1, 2, 3, to give him a gun. He's going to get this die, see here, which shows the high explosive icon, and that is going to help him to do 1 HE damage on every kind of enemy that he encounters. So that goes on my westmost infantry unit. And then let's see, I have 1 experience point. I could use that to, yes, I'm going to use that experience point to give my machine gun +1 in anti-infantry fire, because he's very close to a victory point and he's about to meet those shock troops on that footbridge. So he's going to need all the help that he can get. We still have 1 munition, but there is not anything that we can buy with that. So we're going to go ahead and just put these out on the spawn choices of our choice. So I'm going to put the Kubel wagon over here. And then I shall put the mortar over here. And that's it. We're ready to play our first turn. Okay, so for my first order, I am going to go ahead and move in with my MG here. 1, 2 CP to walk into the building. And then 1 more CP to set up the gun. And I am going to face, I'll turn the whole house for simplicity's sake. I am going to face this hex. So that means my Overwatch goes all over here. One thing here though is that you can't hurt the enemy by Overwatch MG, but the enemy can hurt you with Overwatch MG. So that's just one thing to note, but I can still manage to pin enemies. So that's my turn. We go to the enemy and we draw a card. And we have a yellow this time. So this is the first time that we are going to get to activate a yellow unit. And we have a yellow assault card. So we already know which one it's going to be. Assault onto an enemy within CP range, but there is none. If none, move to the max range towards the nearest enemy, spotting if needed. Okay, so nearest enemy, that should be this one. So he does not have a speed die, so he's just going to be able to move for 1, 2, 3 hexes. You saw that I could choose between this hex and this hex. Again, you use reading order, so it's going to be this hex. And then it is my turn again. And I am going to run up here and spot this fella. So let's go ahead. And 1, 2, 3. So now we spot him, so he doesn't get to use his flip. And that is very good, because that flip will do 1 AI damage. And here I don't have any kind of defense, so I would have taken 1 damage from that. Okay, so it is the enemy's turn. Tactical advance, and we have a green one here. A green castle icon, which is green defense. It should be an unrevealed one. We have 2. Reading order, closest to victory control point, and that's going to be that one. And that is move to capture an unoccupied control point hex within CP range. And we have 2 of those, but movement priorities is of course victory point. So he's going to go ahead and move into this point, spending his speed die. Now, something interesting is going to happen, because this time he is within sight of these infantrymen, so he's going to spot them. So let's go ahead and see what he, or actually, yeah, let's see, he's actually spotted by my machine gun here. So if I would have been a little bit, if I knew the future, this guy could have moved back, and that would have been ignored, but now I can't ignore it. So let's go ahead and look at this. We are very lucky, there is no effect, so he doesn't damage it. This guy is now revealed. And again, very lucky he did not hurt us. So the card goes down now to a yellow one, but the yellow one has activated fully. So there's no more the AI can do this turn. So it forfeits those 3 CP that it has. Okay, it is my turn, and I'm contemplating, I should definitely try to move up my mortar. So I'll move up, see here, 1, maybe I'll just move up 1 point, 1, 2, 3, 4. The mortar has a 5 in range, so 1 point is enough. And then I'll use the second point to pack up my mortar, and it's going to face this hex here. And the last point I use on these infantrymen here, they are going to be in a battle with this guy, so they're going to go ahead and build now sandbags. They already have green cover into that direction, but I want more cover just in case they decide, after they capture that point, which they're going to do, they might decide to come even closer. So that's just in preparation of future events. And then it is the enemy's turn again, and we have a green. I always forget what the name of that green one is, but we'll see. It is a green control point. So closest to victory control point without an ally on it, and that is going to be this fella right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And always, as always, skip units on a building with a VCP or any unit on a neutral or enemy control point. One thing that I haven't told you, a very big difference between the main game and the solo game, is that in the main game, in the solo game, every enemy unit can capture. So tanks can capture, light vehicles can capture, everything can capture. And for you, of course, only infantry and certain vehicles that might have that ability, like the Kubelwagen. So it is going to be this one, green unit, closest to victory control point without any ally on it. If the enemy has a unit on a victory control point within CP range, assault it. And there is no such unit. Otherwise, if none, move toward or assault to capture the nearest control point. And this is the nearest control point, so he moves over here. And he spends his speed die doing so. So again, the enemy will forfeit the free CP for this round. Or turn, I guess I should say. Okay, it is my turn again, and now we get to use our little cute Kubelwagen. And I am going to use this, first the speed die to go here. 1 CP to go here, another CP to go here, and then... Give me a moment before. Okay, so this is actually good to know. And I'll bring out the solo commander card here. So the next turn, he's going to spawn a blue unit and a purple unit if, you see there's an, I think you call that in English an asterisk. It's basically a little star, an ass star. And it says here, you have to read the text. If you control 0 or 1 victory points, there's 0 units spawning. But if you control 2 of them, there's going to be 1 enemy unit spawned. If you control 3 or more, there's going to be 2 of them. So I might actually want to wait with this Kubelwagen before I capture that point. I might instead want to move closer here to take part in the attack against these veteran conscripts. They're rather dangerous because I think you can't see it from where you are, but they have a flame damage that's really dangerous. This one I'm not worried about because he's going to be pinned. He's not going to be able to do any damage to me. These guys are upgraded with their nice little whatever rifle grenades I assume they have. But this one I'm a little bit worried about because that his sandbags and all that stuff it's not going to help him against any kind of flame damage. So I think I'll wait with capturing that. I make that strategic decision. And note here that this icon here, I put a little hedgehog here to remember it. That means that there's a permanent tank trap here. No vehicles can go through that hex. So this guy is going to go up here with his speed die. 2 CP to go here, 3 CP to go here, and finally, 3 CP. So speed die, 1 CP, 2 CP, and 3 CP. And that's it. That's the end of my activation. We go now to the last of the enemy. And we draw another card. And it's going to be a green, I think that's called green control point, if I remember. Yes, and we know it's going to be this one, definitely. Closest to a victory control point without an ally on it. And, okay, there might actually be this one then. So it's actually going to be this one instead of that one. even though this one is revealed. Skip green units on a building VCP or any neutral or enemy control point, but this is already controlled by the enemy. So it's going to be this one. If these two would have been, if this guy had been 2 hexes away from this point, it would have been that one because it's unrevealed, but this one is closer to the victory control point. So if the enemy has a unit on a victory control point within CP range, assault it. Oh guys, so we're going to get to see the infamous assault rules. And why I say infamous is because I just think that the rules themselves, the assault rules, are not hard. But when you hear the assault rules, you think of some kind of, because usually in these, hex and counter games, an assault is like a fight to the death. Here is really nothing of the sort. The only thing that it's going to do in this scenario is actually absolutely nothing. So he spends his speed die, and then he spends 1 CP. And now we're going to put something out to remember that we have... I'm going to use orange or yellow CP here, just to note that here we have an assault, and this, for all intents and purposes, this unit is now sharing the hex with my unit. And we're going to get into the assault, don't worry guys, but that is the end of the enemy turn. It is the end of my turn. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the sequence of play. And first we have machine guns, which assign damage and pins. Before I forget, I'm just going to take that 1 bonus experience that you always get. And then let's see here. I am going to assign this shock troops. I'm going to pin him. And I am going to assign 1 damage to him as well. And assigning that 1 damage, I get 1 additional experience point. My guy up here is, of course, going to assign 1 infantry damage and 1 high explosive damage to this conscript. And that also gives me 1 experience point. Finally, we have the veteran conscripts here, and we're going to do everything we can to kill them. So we'll start with the mortar, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away, and he can fire 5 hexes. So he has, you have to look at the building cards. So here, oh, that's the wrong building card, but if we take the right one, we can see here that he has 1 high explosive damage. So he is going to assign a high explosive damage, which grants me a 4th experience point. And then my little cute Kubelwagen also has 1 damage, and it's an anti-infantry damage. So he assigns that. And finally, these soldiers do the same. Take a note that only the first assigned damage will give you experience points and none of the rest. So even though we assigned him 3 damages from 3 different units, we only get 1 experience point. Okay, now it is time for the enemy to do the same thing. So first of all, we have our conscript. And this conscript should actually, let's see, so I haven't done it on these. This conscript should actually get an extra speed die. Because if you look at their cards, I'm kind of messed up now, but this guy has a wrench, he can repair emplacements and vehicles, a speed die, he gets an extra speed die, and 1 in damage, 1 anti-infantry damage. So he gets another speed die too. Sorry about that, but better late than never. So he is going to assign 1 anti-infantry damage to my guy. This guy would like to do it, but he can't because he's pinned. And when you're pinned, you can't assign damage and you can't capture. He's also going to get actually 1 additional damage here since he is actually being fought by this guy who got upgraded by 1 extra damage. And then we have finally the veteran conscripts here. They're very dangerous. They are going to fire with a flamethrower and anti-infantry against these guys. And if you're ever unsure about which unit to attack, look at the target selection priority. So we can see that the the first priority is green, which is infantry. Anti-infantry, first priority is green, which is infantry. If we have 2 infantry squads here, you have secondary selections. Closest to victory control point, lowest health, reading order. So there's always a way to distinguish which unit is going to be targeted by AI. Okay, so we're done now dealing damage. So I think that we're going to go ahead and do the assault last and do the normal damage first. So first, let's go ahead and look at this shock troops. And they get 2 damage, but you can see they have a little shield. So they get 1 defense die. So they're gonna take 1 damage, 100%, but they might take an additional 1. Let's look if their defense is successful. If it's a red one, that's a fire or a spent speed die. It's negative, they don't manage to defend, otherwise they're successful. And they get a speed die, so they're successful. They only take 1 damage. So we note that by taking just a d6, and they have a 5 in starting health, 2 in range, 5 goes down to 4. Then he gets his speed die back. And then we have the next battle, which is up here. So we have these veteran conscripts. They have no kind of defenses here, so they're gonna take all that damage. But they have 1 HE, so we have to roll to see if there is 1 or 2 or 0 damage. If it's a green icon, 2 damage. Black, 1 damage. Red, no damage. And unfortunately for me, it's a red, so that means my mortar miss. So he only takes 2 damage. He has 5 in base damage, so 5 goes down to 3. And now it's my turn to take damage. These guys here, first of all, they take 1 flame damage, which I can't avoid because flame damage don't care about any field defenses. And to this guy here, I have a green line. That's heavy cover. That's 2 defensive dice. So I get to roll 2 defensive dice, just like that shock troops did. And only on a red do I fail. So if both of these are red, I take 1 more damage from those veteran conscripts. I roll 1 black, 1 red, so I block 1 damage, so I'm safe. Okay, so that's it for all of the damage. We are gonna resolve this assault that we have up here. Before we do that, I'm just quickly gonna gather up these CP to have a little bit less stuff to deal with here. Okay, so let's see here. This one should be reset. So assault. This is how it works. There is no in assault. No one benefits from cover. So this one is 100% sure to do 1 damage on me. So I lose 1 soldier. My one is 100% sure to do 1 damage on him, and he has 4 in health, so it goes down to 3. Then I also have a high explosive, so we roll to see if that's a hit or a miss, so whatever it is, it's a hit. So he loses 1 more health. And that's it for the assault. The assault is over. So now he has to retreat to the hex that he came from. You have to put that little retreat die on him. And the reason why he gets a retreat die is because now it's going to be on him until the end of the turn. And that's just so you don't assault someone and then retreat back into a flag and capture that flag. Because remember, you can't capture flags when you retreat. And that's pretty much all there is to it. The only thing that could have changed if he assaulted me here, I would not neutralize the flag during this step, because you neutralize the flags in the damage phase. So that's all there is to it. It's really not complicated. And you're going to get to see more examples of assault. Basically, assault is really useful if the enemy has heavy defense. You know, in a house you get 3 defensive dice. It's really worth assaulting an enemy in a building. But I wouldn't assault a MG because they have Overwatch. And that's also something that we're going to get to when the enemy has machine guns. Okay, so that is it for this turn. We can now end this turn. Let's go ahead and quickly clear up the battlefield. Take off these, reset the speed dice for our, I shouldn't call them friends, I guess. We remove the pin, that actually should be done at the end, I think. Reset my speed die as well. And then we have free CP here. Okay, so that's it. Now we should go ahead and capture flags and adjust incomes. So the enemy captures one flag here, and it's a victory control point and a munition. So they're up to 2 now in their victory points, and that's the only thing they capture this round that's going to change something. So let's just go ahead and give them 2 victory points. They're now up to 3, and we're still at 0. So the enemy definitely have a lead. And remember, we play to 18 victory points, so there's still some time for us to recover. We capture this flag. I kind of thought that we captured something else, but I think it's that I wanted to go with this guy to capture that victory point, but whatever. Okay, so we captured that one, and that is going to give us +1 in fuel income, +1 in VP. So we gain 2 manpower, 2 ammunition, 3 fuel, and 1 VP. So we're now up to 1 VP. And that's it. We collected our resources, we check for victory point, end game trigger, and now we get to spend resources. After you spend your resources and all of that, that's when you should take away the pin dice and retreat dice. But I'll just do it now before, just to make it a little bit easier for myself. So the enemy, we can see as always on the card what he is going to buy. So he's going to buy 1 blue unit, and that blue unit goes on number 1. And then you have that purple unit with the S star on it. And I'm just kidding, I know it's asterisk, I think it's called. English is difficult, man. And we'll look at that star, and it says again, if I have 0 to 1 victory points, I have 1, it's gonna be 0 units. So I'm not gonna spawn that. They only get 1 unit. So it's 1. So the enemy is ready. They bought all they want to buy. It's now my turn to go shopping. Okay, so let's go shopping. I am going to spend 2 manpower and 3 fuel to get the armored car, which looks like this. And I have one of these vehicle trays for him. And he's a light vehicle, so of course he's going to spawn with a speed die. And I'm going to do some more shopping here. First of all, I'm going to spend 1 experience point. I have 4 for the Sperhead Doctrine. Recon in force. Light vehicles can gain +2 sight and spot camo for 2 munitions. And then I'm going to use 2 munitions to give that for my armored car. And then I am going to spend 1 of my 3 remaining experience points to give him additional speed die. So this is now going to be ideal for spotting enemies on the map before they reveal themselves. So that's going to be my main function of him. I have 2 more experience points. I'm going to use 1 of them to upgrade my Kubelwagen, and by doing so he's going to be able to reinforce, and very appropriately he stands adjacent to that fighting infantry group which has taken 1 damage, so they are going to reinforce before this turn is over. And that is going to be, let's see, I got almost no more points, so I'm going to leave it there. And think next turn I'll probably get the incendiary mortars, because if you spend 2 XP on that, one even spawns for free. It's a really great upgrade. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the table. Right, so I am gonna put my new armored car right here on the edge of my spawn point, so I can go up on the right flank and start spotting those unrevealed enemies. And now we get to the last step of the supply phase, or actually it's not last, it's number, it is the last, number 5, which is reinforcements. So since I upgraded that cute little Kubel wagon, I now get 1 free reinforcements to these guys that have taken 1 damage. And kind of want to upgrade their damage too, but it's rather expensive, 3 munition points, so I'm gonna have to wait with that. And that's it. Let's go ahead and move on to turn number 3. Okay, so we are in the next turn, and we are gonna go ahead and do our first order. And looking at this place and trying to figure out where I need to give some support. I think what I'll do is I'll start moving my armored car. He moves 2 CP with his speed dice. Remember, you have to use the speed dice before you use any CP. And he can't capture, so he's gonna keep moving. And I want to spot this one, so it's gonna be, let's see, he has a 4 in spotting range. So if he goes here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he goes 1, or maybe he should just set up there. No, I think I move up. So I spend 2 CP to move up and spot this guy. And it's well that I did. It's a rookie scout car, and that could have done 1 damage if he would have tried to attack me. I have an attack range. I might even want to move in closer to try to attack him, but we'll see. I have 1 more CP to spend, and I will use that CP for these guys to build sandbags to cover themselves in case this guy doesn't try to assault, but instead just shoot. And then it is the enemy's turn, and we draw from the phase 1 deck, and we have the green defense. So let's go ahead and take some help from the card. Any unrevealed green unit, and we have only 1 left, so it's going to be this guy. Move to capture an unoccupied control point within CP range. And movement priorities, because he can reach 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. He can reach both of these. So priorities is going to be victory control points. So this is going to be a priority for him. So 1, 2, 3, and let's see. I think I should spot him over here. So because it just goes along 1 building edge. So I spot him over here. So he's now spotted. So he doesn't get that activation, which is lucky. And then he finally moves on to the victory control point. And this guy, let's see here, this guy spent 3 moving up there plus his speed die. So this guy has a really nasty reveal action, which is that he will bring another infantry squad on the board. So that is, I just effectively killed 1 unit. He has a special action here, which is heroic unit. So that means if I kill him, I don't get any VP. So that's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Normally, like with in this, you get VP from the captured flags, but harder AIs only let you get VP from certain units. So medium AI, I think most of them don't let you get VP from actually killing any infantry. So getting VP is going to be harder and harder the harder your AI opponent is. Okay, so that's the AI's turn. It is going to be my turn again. And yes, I should put this here on that guy for building those sandbags. So I think it's time for me to move out this guy. I kind of need to get moving and start capturing some points. And again, next step we have a spawn where if the enemy doesn't have any, if I don't only have one VP point, he's not going to spawn something. So I might, just one more turn, I might want to wait. We'll see. It's just going to be kind of, feels like it's going to be downhill. But I would really like to capture a point here which just gives me ammunition and such. Like this point would be really great if I could capture that. But that's going to be, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes away. But I might just want to start moving towards that point then. So, problem is, yeah, we're going to have that guy. Okay, so let's do it like this. I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll move up here. So here I'll be able to shoot at this guy too. And I spend 1 speed die for the first movement hex. And yeah, that's good. And then I can, on my way, I can reinforce this fella. Okay, so that's it. Let's leave these where they are. It is the enemy's turn again. And they have a yellow unit. And with that one I can't control, I think it's called. Yes, yellow control point. And we only have 1 yellow unit. He's gonna, if the enemy has a unit on any non-building victory point with CP range, assault it, but there is no such unit. So he's gonna move toward or assault the capture the nearest non-building control point. So that's gonna be here. So he simply moves to that location and spends 1 CP doing so. And let's see here. Oh, I stole my own CP points. I was a little bit confused when I saw the CP they had left. And let's see, that's the first one. Then we have the second one, which is a green control point. Closest to victory control point without an ally on it. And that is going to be this fella here. He is going to assault. So he's assaulting again. So we simply just put this little cube here to remember that these guys are now assaulting each other. And he's going to use a speed die, I guess that is. I'm not sure if he can use a speed die for that, but it doesn't matter. They have CP to go, to say. Okay, and then actually I'm pretty certain that you have to use. So let's just say that he does use 1 CP. There we go. And then we have 1 more unit that can act because they only use 2 CP. So that's going to be the blue unit up there, which only has 1 order, which is blue barrage. And that means they move to be 4 hexes away from you. So move toward a hex 4 range away from the nearest, and if revealed highest priority, spotted enemy. Adjust fire arc for free. Okay, so spotted enemy, that is going to be this guy over here, I reckon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So you want to be 4 hexes away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can only spend 1, since they only have 1 of those left for this turn, but in the next turn he can move further. And it is my turn again. And I don't think I'm actually gonna do something. I feel like I'm pretty happy where I have all of my stuff right now. So I'll leave everything where it is. These guys I could potentially get out of the way, but I'm not sure that's worth it. because I kind of need to kill these guys. So I'll just stay with those guys. I could potentially, I guess, build some kind of field defenses or something, but I'll just ignore it. I'll lose those CP. Let's see, these guys though, I might want to move. So these, I'm probably, yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill them. I'm just going to do 1 damage to them. So I might want to move up. I might actually want to move up my infantry to kill those, so they don't capture that point. I think that might actually be a smarter move. Okay, so I'll use my free CP on this guy and move 1, 2, 3, and let's move right next to them because I don't want to capture. I feel like I don't want to capture that point because they're just going to get 1 additional unit if I do, but I think that's maybe too. I think maybe that's too cautious. So let's go ahead and just capture that point. And at the same time, we'll take care of this enemy here. Okay, and then it is the enemy's turn again. And they have a yellow assault. And we look at our helper cards. So skip yellow units on neutral or enemy control point. He is on a neutral control point, so we just skip it. So we go on to green assault. So unrevealed green unit, there is none. Closest to, and here we should also skip. And all of our green ones are on, let's see here, skip green units on a building, victory control point, or any neutral or enemy control control point. So this guy is on a neutral. This guy is on a neutral. This guy is taking part of an assault, can't spend any more CP. This guy, however, can. Assault onto an enemy within CP range. So there is none. If none, move to max range towards the nearest enemy. So the nearest enemy is going to be the poor mortars. So that's a problem. He's going to go ahead and hit the mortars. These are nearer when it comes to hexes, but we have inaccessible hexes here, so I don't think it's here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, these are actually nearer. So, oh yeah, and he has speed dice, so he's gonna go ahead and assault them. Move to capture. Let's see here. Move to capture an unoccupied control point within CP range. Oh, they can do that. No, they have the assault. Sorry. Assault onto an enemy within CP range. And he can because he has the 2 speed dice. So assault onto an enemy within CP range, and that is definitely going to be this guy because he's closest and he's closest to the victory point. So he spends 1 speed die, a 2nd speed die, one of these, and then finally 1 to go up there. And he is effectively, can I get it up? That's what she said. So he's up there now assaulting. Okay, and then we have 1 more CP, and that's going to be for the blue barrage, which you remember correctly, become 4 hexes away from closest enemy. It is my turn. I have 3 CP. I could potentially get away now from that veteran conscript. He's going to do 2 damage to me with that flame damage he has, so that's going to be rather nasty. Actually, I can pin him. So I can actually pin him and hinder him from capturing that, from damaging me, but that means the shock troops are gonna capture that victory point. So, well, that's the way it's gonna have to be. So I'll remain in the building. 1, 2, 3. I'll stay here with my mortar crew. I'm not gonna go anywhere with them, and I am gonna go ahead and use this one to move up 1 hex. 1, 2, 3, 4 to spot this guy. And it's a rookie mortar team. Okay, so that means he's gonna be able to attack this guy with the mortar. he has a 5 in range, and I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. So even if I move away a hex, he's still going to be able to fire at me. So I am spending the last one to move 1 hex closer, so I can still attack the partisans and then move on to try to hopefully engage the mortar team. Okay, that's it. And then we have the enemies last turn. Draw a card, and see here we have a purple, which is this guy. I think at least he's, let's see, I have to flip this sometimes. He's blue. It's really hard to see the difference between purple and blue for some reason. So he's blue one, which is the barrage. So he's actually going to move because he wants to be 4 hexes away from me. And he is 1, 2, 3 hexes away. So he's going to go ahead and move up here because he doesn't want to be close to my armored car where I can effectively engage him. So he moves away, and then we go to the next one, which is, should actually have done that first. The blue one, but sorry, the green one. I got confused by the color. So let's look at the green defense, if unrelieved, revealed. Closest to VCP without an ally on it. But I think all of the green ones are happy. Yeah, all of the green ones are happy. Yeah, so none of them are going to act. So that is the last thing that's going to happen. We have yellow assault though, which is going to also be skipped because skip yellow units on a neutral or enemy control point, and he is on a neutral control point, so we're going to skip him too. So the last CP are going to be forfeit, and this is the end of the turn. So now let's go ahead and go to the damage phase. Before we do that, let's go ahead and clean up the board, remove all of the CP cubes. Alright, so we have cleaned up the board, and now we're ready to deal out some damage. So let's start with the machine gun. The machine gun is going to attack the veteran conscripts who attack him, and or who are actually assaulting him, and he's going to go ahead and pin that unit so that unit can't deal any damage to him. And then he's going to deal a total of 2 damage, which he's going to be able to get since he has an upgrade of 1 more damage. And then we have that Kubelwagen, and see, that Kubelwagen could... You know what? Since I have the Kubelwagen there, who's upgraded, he's going to be able to reinforce the MG. So I'm going to take those hits. I'm going to go ahead and take those hits from the MG. From the conscripts. That's going to be 2 damage. Instead, I'll damage the shock troops, and I'll also pin them. And then I will, with my Kubelwagen, deal 1 damage to these conscripts. And then up here we have the assault, which still going on here, a second assault, and he's going to deal 1 anti-infantry damage to me, and I am going to deal 1 anti-infantry damage to him, and 1 high explosive damage. And these veteran conscripts are going to deal 1 anti-infantry damage to me, and 1 flame damage. They have a flamethrower, bastards. And then we have a situation on the other side of the map with the partisans. We're going to go ahead and move there. So in this situation, my infantry is going to do 1 damage to them. We go. And then my little scout car is going to do 1 damage as well. And he also gets this anti-tank damage, which, you know, he has 2 health. He's going to die. There's not going to be any question about that. And then finally, the mortar team all the way back there, you can't see him. He is going to go ahead and do a high explosive damage to me. And that's a good reminder because that actually helps me to remember that I have a mortar team over here. So I am going to go ahead and send that mortar onto those shock troops. And hopefully I hit this time. Okay, so first of all, let's do my experience before we forget it. I get 1 experience for just a round, 1 for hitting the anti-infantry squads here, 1 for the veteran conscripts, 1 for shock troops, and 1 for the regular conscripts. So total of 5 experience points. I'm now up to 6 experience points. And now it's time to battle. Let's go ahead and start with my armored car. See if I can get the dice tower where you can see it. Roll for that HE. And it's a black one, so that's 1 damage. So my armored car goes from 3 in health to 2. So I should actually have, let's see here, I have a yellow die, which goes along with his unit color. And then this anti-infantry unit, he's I forgot almost, he's going to do 1 damage on my guys. And they don't have any defense, so they take 1 damage. And I don't need to roll that since he doesn't have any defense. They, however, get 2 damage and they have 2 health. So these guys are now dead. But unfortunately for me, they have this heroic unit icon, which means they're not going to give me any VP. So that's a little bit sad, but it is what it is. At least they don't capture that VP point. Okay, and that is it for this side. Let's go ahead and go to the middle. One thing to note here, by the way, is that you can use miniatures for the enemies. I actually do that when I'm not recording. Now, just because I don't want this video to be 5 hours long, I'm not using the miniatures. Let's go ahead and start by doing damage to this guy down here. It's going to be quite interesting because he has, where he's standing, he has no defense. So those 2 damage, those are guaranteed. So he goes down to 2 health. And then let's see what this mortar attack does. If I get a green one, it's a crit. Yes! Look at that. I get a green icon, which means that it's a critical hit for 2 damage. So we have now killed these shock troops. So not only do we get rid of them and they don't capture that vital point, they also give us 1 victory point. So we now go from 1 victory point to 2 victory points. And let's see here. Then we have my guy. He is going to take 1 fire damage and 1 normal damage. Since he is being assaulted, he's not able to roll for his defense. Otherwise, he would have 3 defense dice up here. But then we have that guy, and he is taking a total of 3 damage. 2 from my my MG, 1 from the Kubelwagen, so he goes to 0. So he is now also killed. So as you can see here, the easy enemy, it is running out of its units. So it is rather easy to kill the easy ones. And again, you get VP for all of the units. So now I get another VP. I'm now up to 3 victory points. And then we have the final battle, which is up here, and it's an assault. It is between my unit with 3 soldiers and that unit, which has 2. He does 1 damage to me. And then I do 2, let's see here, I do 1 damage plus on high explosive. So we have to roll for that. And it's a green one, so it's 2 damage. So I do 3 damage to him. He only has 2 health left. So this guy is now killed as well. And that gives me even more victory points. So let's go ahead and look. I gotta look at my resource board now because it's so much happening. I go up now to 4 victory points. So now I'm actually in the lead. And that is it. We have resolved all of the battles. The enemy only has 2 units left, and that's a rookie scout car and a mortar team. So now we're going to go for the attack. We're going to capture a victory point now, though, so they are going to go ahead and spawn next turn another blue unit. Yes, but before we do that, let's go ahead and capture the flags that all of the units are standing on. Okay, so we have 2 new flags being captured. First, the enemy will capture this flag over here with the scout car. Remember that the enemy can capture flags with every kind of unit. And we capture this point, which gives us 1 manpower and 1 victory point. That is it. So we captured. Let's go ahead to collect our resources and start spending our stuff. Just quickly before we do that, let's check the Feeble Commander solo card. So we now go to the next step. You can see here we have a blue unit with that star. So now we actually do have 2 victory points. So he is going to spawn. So the AI will get 1 blue unit and it will spawn on number 1. Let's now go shopping. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is increase our income by 1 with the manpower and by 1 with manpower and victory points, because we captured that 1 flag. So we will gain 3 manpower, we will gain 2 munitions, we will gain 3 fuel, and we will gain 2 VP, so we go from 4 to 6. The enemy has a total of 2 victory points with VP, so they go from 3 to 5. So the enemy is now at 5 and we are at 6. Remember that we play until 18. Okay, so we have a lot of experience here in the corner. You can't see it. 6 experience. I mean, we have the elephant. So I also got the mortar here, which I can unlock with just 2 points. So I'll do that first. I'll unlock the mortar for 2 points. And that's going to give me the upgrade here. You can see, actually you can't. So let me just quickly adjust this without fancy editing. Incendiary mortars, which lets me upgrade mortar flame, and it only costs 1 experience point, and it gives me 1 for free. So we're gonna get a mortar for free, and that's gonna be useful in fighting these blue units that the enemy now has. And then I think, yeah, let's just go for the elephant. Can we? I'll use 3 of these to unlock him. So he's now unlocked. Let's put 1 there to remember that. And then it's 3 manpower and 5 fuel to get him. And here we are. Look at that beautiful thing. Elephant, Ferdinand, whatever it is a beautiful big thing. And that's what she said. And it is 7 in health, 4 in range, 4 in anti-tank damage, and it's slow. So it has some bad effects, but it's also a very strong unit. So I'm going to push this one, try to get this one up here on the left flank of the enemy in time for when they start spawning armor. So that is going to be what I do. I have 1 more experience point, but I don't really see anywhere where I could have need of that. Well, I could buy a flame for that experience point for my mortar, just so he does have that flame, because that flame is very useful against enemy infantry, so they can't take cover. But on the other hand, I'm really low on resources. I think I'll save it. I do have 3 munitions though, and I could spend that on my armored car to get a shield. Because he is already taking 1 damage, and he's very important to me since I'm using him to spot. The question is though, I'm not sure I can do that since I already purchased an upgrade for him, so I think actually I can't. So then I'll skip him. And instead I could upgrade this infantry team down here for 3 of this to give him a high explosive weapon. So I'll give that to him. He's probably gonna have need of that. And the last experience point, let's see, should I spend that? There's nothing I can spend it on besides that flame. And I'm not, right now there's not so much infantry on the map, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm done. Okay guys, so we are ready to jump into the 4th round of this game, or turn, or whatever you call it. But before we do that, there are a few things that we need to discuss. The first of all is that this guy, he took flame damage, and buildings are damaged by flame and HE damage. Buildings have 2 health, so he should go down the building from 2 to 1. So that building can take 1 more damage. And if that building is destroyed, he has to retreat. He doesn't take any damage from the building itself being destroyed, but I am a little bit unsure when it comes to an assault that actually takes place in that hex. But I reckon if he's the target and he's in the building, that, you know, if someone goes inside the building and starts shooting him with a flamethrower, that's going to do at least equally as much damage to the house as if the target was outside. But let's just say I'm not 100% about that. But then I actually did spot one small error I did. And that is not something that we can't change. And that is this command card. You see that we're on this now, and we spawn that blue unit. But if you watch that in 2 locations, we have that orange arrow pointing upwards. And that means that on that turn, the enemy spawn points will move. So this is, I actually think this is kind of fun because it makes the game much more exciting. What it does is that the spawn points before you spawn the new units move into new areas. They move 1 hex closer, 1 hex closer to the closest victory point. So this one is gonna move here, and then you spawn. The 2 is moving here. The 3 is moving, let's see here, and the 4 is moving here. And again, if you're unsure about which hex to choose, remember, go after reading order. So, and we also have a 5 here. So that is gonna go here. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it's gonna go here according to the reading order. Okay, so I think that now that the enemies have moved closer, we can kind of keep this angle. It's really difficult for me to record from like a top overhead scenario because I live in a hobbit house and the roof is super low. So like I have my tripod all the way up to the roof, so I can't really see the screen of the recording device. So we'll do, from now on, we'll do this angle. I hope you're fine with that, just to speed things up too. And I want to point out one last thing before we move on. And that is that it is very easy to make small mistakes. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. I call it fog of war. And it might even happen in this video. And if it does, don't freak out. If you see it, go to the comment section and let me know, and let everyone else know. Because that way, if you're watching this to learn how to play, either want to play just to see how Company of Heroes 2 2nd Edition work, or if you have the 2nd Edition and want to see how to use the solo bot, go to the comment section first, because there you will be warned if something is wrong. And it's super easy to do it. I think almost everyone do some kind of mistake when they play. It's just that they don't record themselves doing it, so they don't have people pointing out that they're doing mistakes. Okay, so we have spawned our mortar here with the fire upgrade, and we have our beautiful elephant tank over here. So we're definitely ready to go. So we start as always, and I have 3 CP. One more thing that I forgot was the reinforcements. This gentleman here, the MG gun, should have gotten 1 reinforcement from the upgraded Kugelwagen. Okay, so now we are ready to go. I have my 3 CP, and see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy is spotted already from you spawning. And it's an ambush 76mm AT gun with a 4 in range. So I definitely want to stay away from him. However, as it is now, none of them have range or sight to see, because all of them have sight too. So I can see them with this guy, but none of them can see me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move up with 2 CP to this point. And then I am going to go ahead and start moving up. I think I'll go with... Yeah, okay, let's just, for simplicity's sake, let's start with the tank. And he has a slow, so that means he can only spend 2 CP each turn. He can't spend 3 like the other ones. So it is the enemy's turn, and we're still on the phase 1 deck. So we have a yellow assault, and we have 1 yellow unit. So we look at our yellow assault card, which says unrevealed 1. We only have 1, so we don't have to care about the selection. We go straight to the second paragraphs. Assault onto an enemy within CP range. If the enemy is in a building, move adjacent. Okay, so assault onto an enemy with CP range, and we do have one which is in CP range, and that is going to be our little armored car down here. So he spends 1, 2, and finally 3 CP to assault, and I shall put an orange little thing here to note that he's assaulting this armored car. Okay, and let me just read. So skip green units, no, skip yellow units on neutral or enemy control, but he's not on any of those. Assault onto an enemy within CP. If the enemy is in a building, move adjacent. Let me see here. If none, move to max range. Okay, so any kind of enemy. He would even assault a tank. Enemy closest to victory. Okay, so he does assault that. It's not very clever because he can't really damage him in any way, but that's what he does. Okay, so we go to our next step, and that is for us to spend 3 CP. So we have 3 CP points, and let me see what I want to do. I am going to spend 1 more on this fella to move up here and then turn like so. So he has now spent his 2 CP that he has. And then I go to this infantryman, and he goes to the next VP point by spending 2 VP. Next enemy card, and we have a green defense to start with. And I killed all of the green units. So then we have the blue barrage. And now we currently have 2 blue units. And let's see here. I'm just gonna check quickly. Yes, no, purple are spawned, so both of those are blue. And unrevealed 1 is first priority, closest to victory control point without an ally on it. And they're both the same distance away. So reading order. So it's going to be this one. Move toward a hex 4 range away from the nearest spotted enemy. So this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's not going to act. He's going to basically just stay where he is. And let's see here. And if reveal, highest priority. Okay, so this one is the closest. It is what it is. It is my turn. I have 3 CP left. I am going to go ahead and move my little car because I want to get closer to my infantry squad up there. So 1, 2, 3, and I spend 2 CP, and before I do that I spend the speed die. So he's adjacent now, so he can reinforce them. And then I have 1 more CP left, and I'm going to use that to bring, let's see here, I want to bring my mortar up there too. So 1 CP. And then it is the enemy's turn again, and we ran out of cards here, so I simply shuffle this phase 1 deck. And we draw the top card. And we have a yellow. Let's see, the yellow is in assault, so he can't do anything. So it's just going to be more blue barrages. And the blue barrages aren't going to do anything because it's always going to be this one, and he's not going to move. So basically, the enemy is stuck now. Let's see. Let me just check it, read that card one more time. Okay, so it's good that I read the card again, because it actually says skip revealed blue units with the highest priority spotted enemy within range and fire arc. So, I mean, this is not his highest priority. The highest priority of his kind of damage is actually field defenses, but it's the closest one with highest priority. So I think that means that he should be skipped. So then we have this one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one is the closest one. So he moves with 1 CP. And let's see that enemy CP is on the other side. So he moves to 4 ranges. Oh, actually, he's already 4 ranges away too. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, okay. Oh, and yes, that brings me to one more thing that I forgot to tell you last turn. And it's that these guys, they actually have facing, which you can see on the icon here. So you should actually face them to the closest enemy according to priority. So this guy is facing down that way, and this guy, let's face him down this way. And so basically that means now that these guys are, they're just standing there chilling because he's in range. So I'm definitely going to move this guy because he's going to get shot up otherwise by that AT gun. So I'm moving him. I don't even have to spend any CP. I can just use his 2 speed die to move down here. And that's going to give this... Was he standing here? I think he was standing here, right? Yeah. Because you can't stand here with any vehicle. Okay, so this guy is going to win that assault since I decided to retreat, but we don't resolve the assault yet. Okay, so that leaves me with 3 CP. I am going to use 1 to pack up this mortar that I have down in my base. And then I'm going to use the other 2 to move the other mortar closer to the enemy. And that is the end for me. I can draw a new card, but well, actually, since I moved, those blue barrages are going to happen. So we go again to a blue barrage card, and simply what they do is they move toward a hex 4 range away from the nearest spotted enemy. So this is the nearest spotted enemy. His reading order is going to be this guy. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3. So he's going to move here, and he spends 1 CP doing that, and that's the end. That's the end of the maneuver phase. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and assign damage now, and it's not going to be too much. We have our beautiful elephant, which is 4 hexes in range, and unfortunately the rookie scout car is a nice juicy target, which would have been annihilated, but he's 5 hexes away. But we have these guys. This guy is gonna unfortunately get hit by the mortar. So we put 1 HE on him. And then the scout car should also have a speed die, I see here. And he does 1 damage. He could actually have used 1 CP to build sandbags there to protect himself, but I didn't think of that. And then he will shoot at the scout car with 1 damage, and so will, see here, he will also use his high explosive weapon. And then my scout car is going to shoot with 1 anti-tank, and one anti-infantry. So we have 4 dice, 3 different types of damage. So in this turn, we only get 2 experience points, 1 the free experience, and then 1 experience for engaging that target. The enemy is so far away that I can't really engage them. So let's go ahead and start by rolling damage for my infantry unit. And I'm going to pick up my little dice tower that I have. And we're going to go ahead and roll. So as always, if it's a green one, it's 2 damage. If it's a red, it's 0 damage. And luckily for me, it's a red one, so it doesn't take any damage. It does take 1 damage from this and loses 1 of his squad members. He's down to 2 men. And then we have this guy who has 2 health. And we can look at defense matrix here, which is on building number 3 card. And here we can see that with he's a yellow one, so he doesn't have any defense against anti-tank or flames. So those things are guaranteed to damage him. So we start by removing 1 health for the damage that we do with this anti-tank. And then these are going to be rolled to see if he defend. And this is going to be rolled first to see how much damage. And it's a red, so it does 0 damage. They should also be set up so they face a direction. It's very easy to forget that. And there is another rule exception in the solo that the bot never spends CP to pack up or pack down weapons. Okay, last guy, he gets to roll now 2 defensive dice against the anti-infantry damage. And if he rolls green or black on both of these, he's safe. If he gets a red, he's dead. And luckily for me, he does roll a red. So he rolls a red and a black. That is 1 more damage on him, so he's now dead. So we remove him from the board, and we gain 1 VP. We go from 6 to 7. Remember that the victory VP is 18 VP to win. And that's the end of the damage phase. There is no more battles. He took 1 damage from the mortar. No, he didn't. He took 1 from the scout car, but not from the mortar because the mortar missed. Okay, that's it. So we have 2 flags to capture. First, we capture this neutral flag. And then over here, we neutralize it and capture it, which is done simultaneously. So let's go ahead and put a blue flag on that. And that's going to give us totally 2 more victory points each turn and 1 fuel, 1 manpower. So, wow, we're doing good. Let's go ahead and go to our resource board. Just before we do that, let's go ahead and spawn the next enemy. So we look at the card, and 2 things are going to happen now. First of all, they're going to get 1 red unit, so a tank. We have that right here. This is not going to end up on the first spawn point, because that is already occupied by that AT gun they have. Instead, it's going to end up right here, and that's very close to my units. Luckily for me, I can spot that thing, so it's immediately spotted. And it's a rookie T-34, which will, however, do, as you can see here, he will actually do 2 damage here, anti-armor damage when he's revealed. But luckily for me, he's coming on the spawn round, so I'm spotting him, so he's not going to go ahead and damage me. He's going to go ahead and face, see here, he's going to face, I think, this way. It doesn't matter because he's the only one who can damage him, but okay, we're going to have to rush. Man, we should have sent the elephant up there. Well, that's going to be an interesting story. Okay, so that's it. They spawn, and there's one more thing happening here. Notice that we now have a red circle. So we will go ahead and discard our action deck phase 1 and change that for the action deck phase 2, which looks like this. So let's go ahead and adjust our income. We gain 1 more manpower and 1 more fuel and 2 more VPs. So we're up to 4 now. So we go from 0 to 4 manpower, from 0 to 2 munition, from 0 to 4 munition, and from 7 to 11 victory points. So we are now getting pretty close to winning quite early. But again, we have a short game that's 18 VP, so we need 7 more VP. The enemy has an income of 2, and they're currently at 5. So they are going to go, or actually, I know, their income goes down from 2 to 1, and they have 5, so they go from 5 to 6. So they have 6 VP and I have 11, so I definitely have the very big lead. Okay, so what do I want to buy for my points? I have 3 experience points. We have that T-34 up there who's going to be a problem. I don't really have anything I can buy to kill him with because I don't have enough fuel to buy another elephant. I'm just going to go ahead and buy the last building. That's going to cost me 3 fuel, 1 manpower. So that's 1 manpower and 3 fuel. And next round I will buy a Panther 4 to quickly send up there. The elephant is he has the slow one, so he can only spend 2 CP, so he's going to get up there too late. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Okay, so do I want to buy any upgrades? I have 3 experience points. Let's see here. The Kubelwagen he could get the speed upgrade, and my soldiers could get camouflaged. That could also be useful. But I think currently that I think I'm gonna hold on to my experience points. I don't wanna waste it in case I might need them. I actually might spend 2 experience points to put camouflage on my grenadiers so I can get closer to the enemy and kind of start taking them out without them being able to attack me. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll save my munitions for later. So I'm done shopping. Nothing really fun to buy right now. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn of the game. All right, so we are ready to go for the next round, and now we have some thinking to do because I need to get away from that tank. And I would like to capture these VPs too. They're quite close, so they should be rather easy to get to. So I'll start with the machine gun here, and I pack him up. Or maybe I actually don't do that. Maybe I'll use my mortar instead, since he's already packed up. So he spends 3 CP moving up here. So we draw a new card for the AI, and this is from the new deck, the the AI action deck phase 2. So here we have a purple, a yellow, but we don't have purple or yellow troops, but we have blue ones. So that's the barrage one. So that's move within 4 hexes of an enemy, and it's going to be this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So he skipped. So then we have this one, and he is going to move. Let's see here, I should look at my priority card. Even though he has anti-infantry damage, let's see, he's going to, yes, red is his priority, and then he's yellow. So he is going to go ahead and move. So he comes 4 hexes away from this guy. Let's see here. He's going to move 1, 2. So he spends 2 CP doing that. I'm not too scared though, because these guys, this guy is camouflaged, by the way. So you have to be adjacent to see it. But I'm not scared of him because this guy, he can see them. They can't see them, because they only have a sight range of 2, so they can't attack me unless they have friendly unit spots for them. And that's going to be the end. They don't have a red one on this one, so that tank is not going to get to activate. So it is our turn again, And we are going to see here. I think I'm just gonna try to get away from that T-34. It doesn't make sense to stay. He has the possibility to destroy me. So I'm gonna use these guys 1, 2, 3 to run back into the building. They're back. They go into that house. And then we draw a card for the enemy, and this time they do get a red one. They don't have a purple, yellow, or green one, but they do have a red one. So that is a red assault, and I think you understand what it's going to do. So first of all, we only have one red unit to choose from, so we can skip this part. Assault onto an enemy within CP range. If the enemy is in a building, move adjacent. So there's only one within CP range, and that is going to be my car. So he is going to go ahead and spend 2 CP to assault 1, 2. So I'm just going to put, as I always do, a yellow cube to indicate that he's assaulting into this position. So they're now in the same hex. And that's the end of the enemy turn, so it's now my turn. And I am going to run, because I definitely don't want to stay. This should be reset, his speed die. I definitely don't want to stay next to that T-34. So let's go ahead, let's see where I want to go. I am going to go down here. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And I have a speed die, so that's how I'm able to go 4 hexes. So he goes all the way down here, so he can reinforce that MG again. And that means this guy is now here. And the assault is resolved since I moved. So then we have the enemy's turn yet again. And we draw a card. And this time it doesn't have any red one, it only has the blue ones, and they're already 4 hexes away from their priority target, so they are happy. So the enemy don't do anything. So I get 3 more VP, and this is my last turn. And my grenadiers have the bonus icon, which is the tool, so they can effectively, for 1 CP, they can repair this tank here. So I use 1 CP to repair. And actually, when I think of it, the repair is a free movement that is used, a free action, just like reinforcement. So that would have been done last turn. He would have been repaired as a reinforcement. It works exactly the same. You have to stand adjacent to the unit that has either reinforcement and repair, and then that's the very last thing of the turn that happens. What I can do though is I can move closer with him since he's camouflaged. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So 1, 2, he moves 2 hexes closer, so he can see them, and they can't see him obviously. And then with my scout car, I'll move 1, 2 hexes closer, even 3 hexes closer with the last CP that he has. And he spends his speed die doing so. And no, maybe not. Maybe that is not the smartest move, because he's gonna be killed by that. He's gonna be killed by that AT gun if I do. So let's just stay back where he is for now, and I'll use that last CP to move up my to move up my elephant tank. And that's it. The enemy has one last turn. We draw a card, and they have another red assault. So they're going to want to assault with this guy. But it says on the card that if they're in a building, move adjacent to a building. So assault onto an enemy within CP range. If the enemy is in a building, move adjacent. So luckily for him, he has one more CP to spend. So he's moving here, and he is going to face the building. And that's his last CP. Okay, so now it is time to start assigning some damage. Let's clear the board first of the CP cubes. Okay, so first of all, I get, as always, one bonus experience point. Then I am going to attack the mortar team with my camouflaged grenadiers down here. So they attack with one anti-infantry and one high explosive since they're upgraded with rifle grenades. And they can't attack back because I'm camouflaged. They can only see me if they're adjacent. And this fella here, he can't be seen because they're 3 hexes away. One thing that I just want to note is that, oh yeah, the last card didn't have a blue card, otherwise they would have moved back. I just wanted to check so I hadn't forgotten that part. Okay, so then we have over here, the tank is going to attack my guys in the house with 2 AT and 1 anti-infantry, and I am going to attack them with 1 high explosive since I have a rifle grenade. So let's go ahead and resolve the high explosive attack first. And I roll a black. So the black means that it's going to be 1 damage. And we have a defense matrix here we can look to see just to see if he gets some kind of defense. So a red one do get defense against high explosive. So he now gets to roll a defensive die for that. And as you know, only a red one is a fail, and he does not fail. So he attacks me with 2 AP. He attacks me with 1 anti-infantry. I get 2 defense dice thanks to the AP attacks, and then I get 3 defense dice because I'm inside the building. So I get to roll 5 defense dice. And I roll 2 red ones, so out of his 3 attacks, I have 3 black ones, and that's I'm safe from all of his 3 attacks. Okay, so that's very fortunate. And then let's go ahead and move up to the mortar, which I'm attacking with my camouflaged grenadiers. And they use 1 of these high explosives. Roll for that first. And it's a red one, so that's a miss. And then this guy is behind heavy cover, so he gets to roll 2 defensive dice. And both of them are successful, so unfortunately for me, that means that the enemy doesn't take any damage at all. However, I will get 1 experience for engaging him. And I am unsure because also if you ask why he doesn't attack him, it's because he's camouflaged. He has to be adjacent for me to attack him. I guess I could attack with, yeah, I did attack with my infantry on the T-34, so I get 1 more experience for doing that. So I'm up to 4 experience points now. Okay, so this is going to be the end of it. We are going to go ahead and see, there's 1 flag to capture. We should also buy something new for the AI. Let's start with this flag. It's a munition point with a victory point, so our victory in keep is going to go up to 5 now. So we're going to have a lot of victory points. This is going to be over soon. And then let's go ahead and buy that flag for the enemy. Let me just see so I'm not missing any points. No, I'm not. So they move on now, and they go to that famous star we're always talking about. And on that star, if your enemy, the player, has 3 victory points or more, they get 2 units. So they're going to get 2 units now. And we have also that little orange arrow, meaning that all of the victory points are going to move closer. Sorry, all of the spawn points are going to move closer to the victory points. So we have a spawn over here, and he's immediately revealed since I have my scout here. And it's a veteran conscript. And then over here, this one also moves. And over here we have another conscript. So the enemy is not done yet. They're pushing on, but only with a few conscripts, so I think we can handle that. Let's go ahead and go shopping and increase my resource income by 1 munition and 1 victory point. Okay, so let's start by increasing our income by 1 for our victory points and 1 for our munition. So we gain 4 manpower, we go from 3 to 7. 3 munition, we go to 2, from 2 to 5. 4 fuel, we go from 1 to 5. And finally, 5 victory points, we go from 11 to 16. So this is now pretty much guaranteed that we're going to win, because remember, we only need to get to 18. But let's play that last turn just for fun. Okay, so we have a lot of points. I unfortunately don't have enough to get the tiger. That would be a nice call-in. But the T-34, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes away from my spawn point. The elephant has a range of 4 and can move 2. So I could get another elephant and actually get him into a firing position already in the next turn. I think that is better than getting the Panther 4. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I pay 3 manpower. I go from 7 to 4. 5 fuel. So I go from 5 to 0. And I get 1 more elephant to join the fight. Okay, and experience point. Is it worth to buy something with that? I could get the fragmentation bomb at the start of your maneuver phase. Spend your very first 2 CP and 2 munition to target 3 consecutive hexes in the damage phase. Each hex takes 2 HE damage. Okay, so let's do that one. That's going to cost me 3 experience points. And I'll save my munition for that. So I'll send my planes to take out those new infantry guys. And see here, that actually did not cost 3, it cost 1. So I spent two experience points too much. Okay, I'm getting, you know, when I'm doing this, I have studio lights, I have a bunch of microphones, I have a lot of different tripods, so there's so much to keep track of, so it's very easy to make those small mistakes. Excuse me for it, though. Okay, is there something? I got manpower, but no fuel now. So I don't think it's any idea to get any more infantry, because they're not going to have time to get to the battle. So I think I'm just going to be happy here. Could potentially use the, see here. No, I don't want to upgrade my squad up there either, because he's just going to get killed by that T-34. So that's just going to be wasted energy. So I'll leave it as it is. I get the elephant and I'm happy with the elephant. Let's go to the next turn. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do here on my turn is I am going to attack with that fragmentation bomb. And I'll show you the card here so you can see it real well. Fragmentation bomb. At the start of your maneuver phase, spend your very first 2 CP and 2 munitions to target 3 consecutive hexes in damage phase. In the damage phase, each hex takes 2 HE damage. Oh, well, maybe actually that is not the best thing to do, because that means the enemy is going to have time to move away from there. I definitely doubt that they're going to stay in that location. So I didn't read that they actually had a chance to move. So I think maybe I'll skip that then. Okay, so I'm going to move up my beautiful beautiful elephant with 2 CP, and then I shall spend 1 CP to get the mortar up to this bridge here, and then it's the enemy's turn, and they get a green defense to start with. So that means we're gonna see if we have no unrevealed one closest to victory point, and that's gonna be that one. Move to capture an unoccupied control point hex within CP range. So he simply uses his speed die to move up here. And then we go to the next one. It's purple. We don't have that. We have a red one, which is red assault. And we only have 1 red unit. Assault onto an enemy CP if assault onto an enemy within CP range. If the enemy is in a building, move adjacent. And that's the only enemy that he has within CP range. So movement priorities, enemies closer to victory point or reading order. And let's see here. This guy is actually closer to the victory point, so he's gonna move there. And then he is going to angle his hull towards my elephant. And he spends 1 CP doing that. And then we have a yellow unit but on the card, but we don't have one, so they forfeit 2 CP. And then it is my turn, and I shall use 2 CP to move my mortar into this victory point area. And I have 1 CP left. And I shall use that to... Also, I forgot. I forgot. But it's... it's because of the recording, but I forgot this guy should have been reinforced automatically by the upgraded Kugelwagen. But it is what it is. I think I'm gonna move up this mortar too, so I'll just spend 1 CP on him. And then it's the enemy's turn again. And they get a red star. I forget the name of that one. It's called Red Victory Control Point. Red unit. If the enemy has a unit on any non-building victory control point within CP range, assault it. If none, move to capture the nearest non-building victory control point. Face any enemy AP damage with CP if possible, and there is none near him that he can reach to capture. They're all, since he already spent one. If the enemy has a unit on any non-building victory control point with CP range, assault it. If none, move to capture the nearest non-building VCP. Face enemy. Okay, so he's just simply gonna move closer to that 1, 2, and then he's gonna face down, not to get flanked by that. And just like weapon teams, they don't. Actually, they have to spend CP adjusting the face. Unless adjusting to face enemy AP. If none, face enemy AP with CP if possible. So they have to, but 1 movement and you can face it for free. So I think, see here, man, sometimes I forget how the red ones work. I forget the angling, but okay, he was angling here. So he needs to go to this point. So he would reverse with 1 CP and turn, and then simply traverse, and that's 2 CP. That's a legal move. Okay, so and he's facing the elephant, and then we have a blue barrage, and the enemy still has 1 VP for this turn. So with that, see here, these want to be 4 hexes away. So this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, he simply moves 1 back, and he faces this direction. And then it is my turn again, and I am gonna go ahead. See here if I should move perhaps my machine gun. Take the machine gun out of the, I pack up, I bring it out of the building and face this direction, and then pack it again so I face that conscript so I can pin him. And that's it. It is the enemy's turn yet again. And they start with a blue barrage, so we're gonna do that. So let's see, blue barrage, move toward a 4 hex range away from the nearest spotted enemy. Okay, so this guy is not spotted, but this is the nearest spotted enemy. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is 4 hexes away. Again, move toward a hex 4 range away from the nearest spotted enemy. So okay, they actually have to be spotted. I hadn't thought about that. And okay, but he's not spotted. He's not spotted. So there are no spotted enemies. The closest one would be this one. So then he's actually moving toward him. Move toward a hex 4 range away from the nearest spotted enemy. So that's going to be that one then. So 1, 2, 3. He moves over here with those 3 CP. I've missed that text that they have to be spotted, the enemy. So that makes the blue ones a little bit more active, that they don't stick around too much. I had not noticed that. My apologies. I don't think that would have changed anything down here, because most of the time they did see their targets, and when they didn't, there were no enemies here that could see these guys, since these guys came up newly. Okay, so that is it for the enemy turn. I have one last turn, and I think I want to move up with my either my Kubelwagen or with this guy, so I can actually hit that veteran conscript. The problem is the AT gun there. He's a problem for me. Okay, so I'll simply do this. I'll spend 1 speed die, and there's a lot of stuff that should fit in one of these. I simply spend 1 speed die to go here. In case this guy assaults, I can fire into that hex. And then with my Kubelwagen, I spend, see here, I don't want him to be within range. I'll go here so he can repair the MG if the MG will repair. He can heal the MG, reinforce it if it takes damage. And same thing here, I only spend a speed die, so I don't care about the CP. I don't spend CP. And I have 3 CP left though, so I'll use that for this to move 1, 2, and he moves up here. And then I have 1 little CP remaining. I shall use that to turn this like this and move forward. Okay, and that's it. We have the enemy's last turn. And they have cavalry advance. Yellow, there's no yellow ones. Red, he spent his CP. Green, we have 1 green left, all the way to the right. So with him, we get green assault and assault onto an enemy within CP range. So 1, 2. So he spends 1 CP and 1 speed die. to assault, and we put a yellow cube in that hex so we can see that there's an assault going on there. And then the card also has a blue barrage, and then we have this guy who could move. And see here, when it comes to spotting, I have to assume that this conscript now can spot this one since he's in this hex. So he's 2 hexes away. So he's going to want to be 4 hexes within this guy. He's not within line of sight though because of the building. Move toward a hex 4 range away from the nearest spotted enemy. Adjust firing arc for free. Or spend 1 CP to adjust firing arc if not moving. So 1, 2, 3, he's 4 hexes away. He could move here, and he would still be 4 hexes away, and he could even move here, and he would still be 4 hexes away. So I say that's what he's going to do. That makes most sense to me. And he aims over here, so he's going to have line of sight to this armored car now. So that armored car is going to be smoked. And that is the end. That is the end of the turn. We now go to the damage phase. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a pin on this conscript. He is pinned by the machine gun that has a 3 in range and 3 in sight. And he's also gonna give 1 damage. So by doing that, I do get 1 experience point and 1 extra for assigning damage to those conscripts. My beautiful, beautiful elephant tank, which is within firing distance and has the fire arc to fire on that T-34, he's gonna do 4 man, these dice are slippery. He's gonna do 4 anti-tank damage to that T-34. And then I had this guy, and he could also attack that T-34, but the T-34, he's going to be dead anyway, so there's not really any point in doing it. Let's see here the firing priority. If he's going to fire on the closest to victory control point, lowest health, they're both 2 hexes away, but this guy has lower health, so he's going to be attacked. So he's going to be attacked by 1 anti-infantry, and he's going to be attacked by 2 anti-tank, and that's going to be it for him. And I will get 1 experience for engaging that T-34. I have 6 experience points now. And then we have the situation over here on the right flank, and these guys are attacking each other. He's attacking with 1 HE and 1 anti-infantry. And the veteran conscripts are attacking with a flame and with 1 anti-infantry. And the emplacement is attacking my armored car with 3 AT. So on this right side, I'm just getting annihilated. We have the mortar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's actually within sight of this one. So he is going to be able to add to the T-34's attack 1 high explosive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and resolve all of this damage. So first of all, this conscript up here, he actually gets 2 damage because he's upgraded. So he goes from 4 health to 2 health. And he's not returning any damage since he's pinned. And then the T-34 gets a hit of 4 out of my beautiful elephant, and it blows up. Okay guys, while editing I saw one little mistake I did here. As you see, this T-34, he has his frontal armor, so my attack of 4 AP he might save himself if he managed to save himself with both of his defense dice. If you're firing at the frontal armor of a heavy vehicle, they get 2 defense die. And he rolls a red and a black. So the red doesn't save him, and the black does save him. So my 4 goes down to 3, but he only has, as you can see here, 3 in health, so he's still dead. So the outcome would have been the same. He would have died, but guys, don't forget to check for frontal armor, because that might change other situations. So the T-34 only has 3 health, so I've spent more than enough to kill him, and I gain 1 experience point. I go from 16 to 17, not experience points, victory points. And then we have my infantry up here, and they will get 1 high explosive, which we need to roll for. And it's a normal attack, so 1 damage. So that building takes 1 hit from that high explosive and goes from 2 in health to 1 in health. And then we have 2 normal attacks, which it doesn't have any defense against, which is 1 high explosive and 1 infantry, and then 2 armored. So it's going to get a total of 5 defense dice, 3 from being in the house and 2 from the anti-armor attacks. And I fail 3 of those dice, so I block 2 of the damages, to say. So let's see here. They sent 1 HE. Okay, so he's gonna be dead, unfortunately. So let's see here. This fella. Let me just quickly. I think that the armor I should roll for those maybe first. No, that's all right. They're all rolled together. So out of those, I managed to block 2 of the incoming hits, and it was 1 infantry, 1 high explosive, and 2. Let me see that again. The rookie 2 anti-armor. So that's a total of 4. So they do 2 damage. So this guy is now dead. So they managed to kill my infantry squad, and they get 1 victory point for it. So they go from 6 VP to 7 VP, and I do at least get 1 experience point from losing a unit. That's the only positive thing here that happens. And that concludes the battles on the Western Front, and then we have the Eastern Front. So first we have our armored car, which takes 3 hits from that AT gun, so he's also destroyed. We don't even have to roll for that, and we gain an experience point, and the enemy gets a victory point, so they go from 7 to 8. Remember that our goal is 18. And then we have the battle up here. These guys have 1 flame damage and 1 anti-infantry, because that veteran conscript squad has a flamethrower. So I lose that squad, and I gain another experience point from the battle, but the enemy gains a victory point. They go from 8 to 9. And then this guy, he will get, let's see here, 1 damage for this. So he goes from 5 health to 4. And then he will also get this high explosive, but we need to roll to see how much damage that does. And we roll a red, so that is a miss. I've been very unlucky with all of my high explosive attacks. So he only takes 1 damage. And that is the end of the damage phase. We now go to the capturing phase. And I actually capture 1 point, which is down here. And that is a victory point and munition point. So that's very good for me. And we put a blue flag on it. And there's no other flags being captured. As you know, there is I have a visitor over there on one point by that conscript squad, but they're being actively pinned by my machine gun, so they can't do anything. So now we should, adjust our resources and everything. And I'm just gonna bring my resource table over here so you can see it. And from capturing that point, I get one more munition and one more victory point every turn. So I'm up to 6 now. So I gain 4 manpower. I go from 4 to 8. 4 munition. So I go from 5 to 9. I gain 4 fuel. I go from 0 to 4. And finally, I gain 6 victory points. So I go from 17 to 23. So this is, I put just 2 on that 10 to remember 20, and then 1 on the 3. So I definitely have now came to the point where I have won. And, the thing that you do now, there is a special rule to this, and that is that when one player meets the win condition that you have set, the player that controls the most victory points is granted 3 additional VPs. So now if that was the AI, it would go from 9 victory points to 12. But in this case, it's me, so I'm going to go from 23 victory points to 26 victory points. And that's the end of the game. I won. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I spent a lot of time to learn this game. It's Sunday over here today, and I think I read the rules over and over and over again for about 3 days. I went through every rule thread on Board Game Geek and asked a lot of questions to the publisher, to the designer, who was very nice enough to answer all of my questions. And again, I might have done some small errors. This is bound to happen. This is fog of war, I call it. Just read the comment section to see the errors I made. And if you spotted an error yourself, be nice to me and everyone watching. Just let people know in the comment section, and preferably with a timestamp, because then other people can see, oh, that's a mistake, and they can learn from that. But this is generally how the game flows. I think I did it with minor mistakes, if there were some beyond the ones I told you about myself. And I think this, I was actually the first person who made of the real board game a solo video of the first edition. And now I'm the first person to do it with the second edition, and that makes me very proud. But I really love this game. And I have to say, this is such an upgrade from the first edition. The first edition, the first game, it's an excellent game, but the solo expansion, it just wasn't that good. It felt like it was really something put together really fast just to be able to say that, oh, we can sell this to solo players too. It was okay, but it wasn't. I think I played that maybe I played 10 games. And for a game that, cost, I don't know, like $600 or something for the full pledge, that's quite expensive, isn't it? But it was still worth it, because I must have played at least 50 games in multiplayer, and I would have played 500 if I had enough people that wanted to play with me. But unfortunately, it's hard to find people who enjoy war games. But this one, I'll tell you, the rules, they might seem complex, but they're quite easy to learn, especially if you have someone teaching you. And I have taught a person who don't play board games how to play this game, and he learned how to play it in an evening. We were playing for a weekend, and the very next day he was, hey, you want to play? You want to get to it? And everything was set up on the table, so we just got going again. So even though it's complex, it's easy to learn if you have a good teacher. And I'm not claiming that I am one, but hopefully this game was enough to give you a a good idea of the flow of the game and on how the rule works. I think if I mess something up, it's this. I very easily forget that the heavy vehicles that they have to turn, in the hexes and so on. I might have messed that up. I'm not gonna lie there. There are many optional rules that you can play with this. These things that you see here are kind of like field defenses, and they're used to just show where your spawn area is. But if you play, you can play that they actually give you cover. So if you're really back to your base, they're gonna help you. You can play with the rule where your spawn grows, kind of like the AI does. It grows 2 times, I believe it's in round 6 and round 9. It grows 1 hex, 1 hex up and 1 hex to the side. So that's going to help you a lot. You can also play with the Lost Brigades, which I've done. You can also play that when the AI reveals itself. That's a big difference. The words are very close, but it's a big difference to the meaning. When they reveal themselves, they don't do that reveal damage that some of them have. That is one of the optional rules that you can read in the it's called the solo rule booklet. And the final thing I think you can do to make it easier is that you can put all of the, which are called veteran, like that veteran conscript. You can put all of the veterans in the bottom of the unit stack, and that is also a suggested rule in the rule book. Other than that, I think that if you make buildings have 3 health and bunker 6, that generally helps the player because players are more likely to enter buildings. And then, of course, building advanced field defenses, tank traps, and barbed wire is going to help you. And as you can see with the easy AI, that's not really something that you are going to want to do. But this is the easy AI. So let me see if I just quickly can show you the cards from the... I was lucky enough that I had the box here right next to me. So, okay, so we have the... Okay, they're all mixed up. Let's start with these ones. So this is the next one. Is a Rookie Commander, easy difficulty. And then we have the Tank Commander, easy difficulty. And then we have the Ground Commander. These are Coop side, I see. Medium. Airborne Commander, medium. Mobile Commander, medium. Tactician Commander, high. Difficult. Artillery, high. Mybucks, Menace, high. Field Marshal, extreme. And Supreme Commander, extreme. So if we just take one here as I think the Airborne is kind of funny. So we're going to see here that there's a lot of difference. Instead of spawning 2 green in the first turn, he spawns 4 green. He spawns 2 green and 2 yellow. And then he's going to spawn... So he has the beacon ability. All green tokens spawned after the first round instead spawn adjacent to the bottom rightmost AI unit with double slow for the first round only. So that means that those greens, once they get down here, they're going to spawn in the middle of the map, while you're going to have to run from your starting point. You can also see here that he is going to have 16 CP, having 4 CP to use every turn instead of this one who had 12. And you can also see that all AI token except green tokens award VPs. So the easy one, every enemy gave VP when killed. This one, the green ones don't. And of course that gets more extreme if we look here at the Supreme Commander, extreme difficulty. Only yellow and red tokens are awarding you VP. All green and yellow soldiers gain a defense die when spawned. He has 20 CP instead of 12. So this one is going to have a lot more room to navigate around. And his starting is 3 green and 2 blue. And you can see he gets 3 purple here. Here he gets 3 purple and 2 yellow. And here he gets 2 red and up to 3 greens, 2 greens, depending on how many victory points you hold. So the Supreme one, the two extreme difficulty ones, they are difficult. Even, the AI is never going to be as effective as a player with its unit. If it has 3 times more units than you and can navigate 2 times more, yeah, you're gonna get your butt kicked. So feel free to play around. I personally try to play without optional rules, and I love that they have given these guys difficulty levels. I think it's brilliant, and it gives this game so much more replayability. I mean, and we have so many also. We have 3 easy, 3 medium, 3 hard, and 2 extreme. So that's 11 different enemy commanders to fight, and they're also different in the way that they operate. And of course, you can play against different enemies. Now we're against Russians. You can go against Germans, Americans, British, even the Oberkommando West Germans. So there's just so many options, and of course you can switch your army to any of those 5. So I gotta say, this turned into a review video all of a sudden, but this for me, 10 out of 10. If you set this up on the table, it's gonna take some time because there's so, especially if you have the terrain packs. It took me a few hours to just set everything up, to be honest. But that's from everything was inside the boxes, still in plastic wrap. So, but yeah, it took me some time. But the good thing with this game that it stays on your table. I've never had a game. Okay, maybe the Hunters I had as long on the table, but as I have this game, usually I pack up a game, I play a few days, I get sick of it, and I pack it up. Company of Heroes, that's gonna stay on the table until I leave for the war. This is gonna stay on the table until I leave to Ukraine, and not a lot of games do that. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's long enough. I want to say one last time, please forgive me for any minor mistakes I did. Let other people know with a timestamp in the comment section, please. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to help me out a little bit extra, you can become a supporter of the channel. That costs $2.99 a month. You can also do a one-time donation with PayPal. You find the email in my video description or YouTube super thanks. Don't forget to like the video and comment on it. That is very important. And share it with your friends who has this game so they can also see how much fun this is. My friend is coming on Thursday. We're going to do a 3-panel map with two people versus 2 AIs. So that's going to be really epic. And might even record it. We'll see. We'll see what he says about it. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking so long, so I'm going to stop. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.